Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible architecture of emotion in film. How filmmakers can make you feel exactly what they want you to feel, almost like magic.
Right? It's a question that gets right to the heart of what makes movies so powerful. That feeling you get, whether it's joy or heartbreak or just this warm wave of nostalgia, it's almost never an accident. And to really get how they do it, let's start with a film that's famous for just how authentic it feels. Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird is the perfect place to start. It's not a movie that relies on, flashy special effects or huge dramatic twists. Nope. Its power comes from a whole bunch of really smart, really subtle choices that create a world that just feels, well, real. And this is the crucial point. That feeling of real isn't some happy accident. It's a carefully constructed blueprint. It proves that sometimes the biggest emotions come from the quietest decisions, and it all starts way before the camera's even rolling. Okay, let's dive right in. So, the absolute foundation of any emotional scene has to be the performance. But how does a director actually get that raw, authentic performance from an actor? It's definitely not just about yelling action and then hoping for the best.
And this is so important. A great director isn't just barking orders or looking for quick fixes. They build trust. They really work with the actor, digging deep into the script, figuring out motivations, and focusing on finding that moment-by-moment truth. It's a partnership, a collaboration, all about finding a genuine connection.
Okay, so once you have that authentic performance, the camera becomes this incredible tool for shaping how we, the audience, get to experience it. The way a scene is shot, it's a language all its own. And this is where it gets really cool, right? You see how these technical choices create actual feelings. That grainy 16mm film, it feels like an old photograph, which instantly taps into our own memories and nostalgia. The camera just staying still, it makes us feel like we're a fly on the wall, just quietly observing. And that windshield, come on. It's a perfect visual metaphor for their entire relationship. They're right next to each other, but there's always this barrier between them. Now, of all the visual tools a filmmaker has in their toolkit, nothing hits you faster or harder than lighting. It literally paints the scene with a feeling before anyone has even said a single word. So back in Lady Bird, all that natural light just doubles down on that feeling of authenticity. But naturalism is just one option. Filmmakers have a whole palette of light to choose from to make us feel specific things, especially when it comes to something like romance. Okay, so this idea of color temperature is one of the most basic ways filmmakers can send emotional signals to us, often totally subconsciously. You can think of it like a thermostat for feelings. Warmer, orangey light often feels like a warm, cozy hug, while cooler, bluish light can feel a lot more distant or even a little sad. And this just shows you there's no one right way to light a romance. Think about the warm, golden, cozy lighting in Love Actually. It just feels like comfort and joy. But then you have the cool blue tones in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet, and that creates a totally different vibe. It's magical and dreamlike, but also kind of tinged with tragedy. The lighting always serves the specific story they're trying to tell. So this means that a darker scene isn't always scary. By using deep shadows, a filmmaker can basically carve out a private little world just for the characters. It makes us feel like the moment is shared only between them, and it pulls us in closer, like we're getting a peek at something really intimate. All right, so we've talked about the performance, the camera, and the light. But filmmakers also use these invisible tools, time and sound, to mess with our emotional state in some really profound ways. Both of these tools are so powerful because they totally break our normal perception of time. Slow motion, it stretches a single moment out, forcing us to just soak in every little detail. And silence? Well, silence creates this vacuum that our brains just hate, so we lean in and pay way more attention, trying to figure out what's going on. And here's a little peek behind the curtain at the technical side of it. It's actually pretty simple. The more frames per second you shoot, the more you can slow down the footage later. So if you shoot at 120 frames per second, but play it back at the standard 24, that's how you get that gorgeous, dramatic, cinematic slow-mo that makes a simple glance feel absolutely epic. And let's be clear, cinematic silence is almost never actually silent. If a movie went completely dead quiet, you'd probably think your TV just broke. A great filmmaker knows that a quiet moment is a chance to make the audience listen harder than ever. They strip everything away except for the one or two tiny sounds that crank up the tension, like a single ticking clock. And look at this. It's literally a recipe for suspense. It just goes to show you that silence isn't an accident. It's a tool designed with incredible precision. By controlling exactly what you hear and what you don't hear, a filmmaker can grab a hold of the tension in a scene and just not let go. So here's the big takeaway. None of these things, the performance, the camera, the light, the sound, none of them work alone. They are all meticulously layered and woven together to create one single, unified emotional experience. That moment in a film that gives you goosebumps, that's not just magic. It's the result of incredible, intentional craft. It's like a symphony, with every single instrument playing its part perfectly in tune. I mean, think about how it all builds. You start with a really truthful performance. Then, the framing is composed to highlight what that character is feeling. Then that frame is literally painted with light that matches their inner mood. And finally, an editor controls the timing of that moment to make sure it hits you with maximum impact. See, it all works together, in perfect harmony, to guide exactly how you feel. And that's really what this is all about. The next time you're watching a movie, you'll see it differently. By understanding this language, you're not just a viewer anymore. You're an insider. You can see the artistry behind the emotion, and you can appreciate the deep, intentional craft behind every single feeling that a film gives you.